7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy. Wait for it. Thick and slick. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, presented by TLR Coatings. They are still on board with us here. They are Michigan's, we'll call it premier custom powder coating shop. And yes, I just made that up off the top of my head. And yes, we're going to change that literally every single show we do this year. We are here with our first off-season podcast. Now, this is a full-blown podcast, so if you're checking us out on YouTube, thank you. However, we did just record this in a podcast form, so make sure to check us out in your Apple Podcast or on SoundCloud is where we're at. If you're on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast channel as we are trying to get some more of these podcasts rolling. But having a day job and doing this too is a little tricky. Now we're doing an off-season podcast, which we have done off-season shows before. However, this year we're hopefully going to do these maybe every 2-3 weeks here for this, we'll call it shortened off-season, because let's face it, we just finished up the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship not too long ago, and now we're rolling right into Supercross starting here middle of January. On the phone with me tonight, former mechanic to privateers before they were really privateers, former regular shop mechanic working on every hunk of Chinese junk they sent him, regular show co-host, has been on the show since the beginning.
Let's go.
Justin. How's it going, bud?
What's up? That was a great entrance, man. That was just, I loved it. That was an intro for just the best of them.
Bro, I spitball these literally off the top of my, like, I didn't even think about that before we hit record. I just went with it. You know, I'm going to make these up. They're going to be new every time.
You should be a hype man.
I could be. You should put me with Steve Mathis at the Hawaiian Supercross, and we can talk FMX while they're doing that, and it'll be fantastic. The louder you get, the bigger they go. Yeah. Anyway, also on the line with us tonight, normal show co-host. Are you talking?
Co-host?
Are you?
I think you just said co-host.
Co-host. Are you a Tucker Rocky rep now?
Yep.
Tucker Rocky rep. Future AMA Pro Card holder.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cole Uggetti. Cole, what is up, man?
Dude, not much. Laying here on a fresh mattress pad that I went and bought today.
Sick.
I did some adult spending.
Was it to cover up the urine stain from when you wet the bed on Halloween, or nah?
Nope. Just a little softer so I can get my 8 hours of Z's and watching Family Guy here. It's actually, conveniently enough, they got a dirt bike on the episode right now. They're all standing in the middle of the city holding onto the dirt bike.
Oh, yes, the dirt bike episode. That one's the best, where they win it with their hands on it and then the kids wreck it. Fucking awesome.
Well, you just spoiled it for me.
I was about to say, now you just ruined it for him. That was cool.
That's from like 27 seasons ago, okay? That is not a new episode.
I just got onto a Family Guy kick here. So.
Oh, really? I love that show. Ashley doesn't
We got to
like
wrap
it, though.
this call up so I can get on the Xbox, play some Supercross 3. So if
Well,
anybody out there wants to get some on the Xbox, add my gamer tag, ugetti191. I'll give you some sauce.
Well, you see,
Jesus.
the problem is that I don't suck at life, so I play on the real system, the PlayStation, not the Xbox. So, yeah, and I only have a PlayStation 3, so that's a problem too. I mean, there's lots of issues here as far as me playing online. Number one being I don't have internet that really supports that, living out in the middle of bumfuck Egypt. So, yeah. But anyway,
Great radio.
Great radio, bro. Yeah, so anyway, but we could talk some football or something. Yeah,
No,
sports.
let's not.
All right.
It's not.
Can you speak to football? That reminds me. Let me check my FanDuel scores.
Oh, God, dude. No, just...
I mean, you guys want to talk about
go
the
ahead.
election, because that's tomorrow, so that's some big
No,
news.
no.
We don't want to turn
I'm
this into a
supposed to be on the
political
road for
podcast.
work. Yeah, I'm supposed to be on the road for work. I think I'm just gonna stay home all week with all the shit that looks like it's about to go down. So.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Yeah.
This is going to be the start of the end.
Yeah, let's not really get into it. But my daughter did ask her gymnastics teacher tonight if she was voting for Trump or Biden, and I went, "You did what? You are 6. Don't talk about that." God. Oh,
yeah, let's not open that can of worms.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be tomorrow everywhere. So.
Oh my God, I know. I tried to get Tom Cooper on tonight, and he's like, "Yeah, my brain is pretty much everywhere but motocross right now, but soon." And I'm just like, "Oh God." So anyway, all right, let's get back to the motocross stuff here. Off season, silly season, lots of announcements. We're pretty much one of the last people to do a show about it, but that's okay. We're still going to get on here. We're going to do our takes. We're going to talk about what we know, what we think we know, and what we think is going to happen. But first off, let's start. They released the schedule last week. We have 12 rounds on there. Basically, multiple rounds, multiple cities, no futures racing. And we're starting off East Coast instead of West Coast. So what are your guys' thoughts? Are you going to any rounds? Do you think it's going to play into anybody's favor starting East Coast as opposed to West? Are we going to see guys we would usually see on the West Coast on the East just because they want to ride when the season starts? And we're not starting the normal first Saturday of January. We're not starting until the 16th. So who wants to go first? 3, 2, 1, Battle Royale.
Cole, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, so as far as rounds,
I didn't even answer the question. You just went right into talking. Okay.
No, yeah, I'm taking the bait and I'm running with it.
I'm just kidding, man.
No, as far as rounds go, definitely going to go to at least one of the Indies. I don't know if I'll be able to swing the 3 days in Indy. If worse comes to worse, just drive home and drive back. Not too terrible of a drive. Daytona for sure. I usually go to that every year. It falls on my birthday, and kind of a family thing. Usually plan on every year. I go down there with my uncle, so I'll be there.
Hey, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does Daytona, do they call you every year to be like, "Hey, so we've got your Daytona Supercross tickets here ready to go"? Because they've called me like 3 times now.
No. I haven't done anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Travis is important.
Some chick called me.
I don't. Well, this is how important I am. I don't buy my own tickets. Some guy just gets them for us, and then I give him the money.
Oh, wow.
Well, all right.
Like
there you
drugs.
Yeah, that's slinging tickets. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go to that one. Houston, are they starting east or west?
East.
They are starting east. Houston would be cool just because that's at Jerry World, right? Big Cowboy Stadium.
No, that's
That's
Dallas.
Arlington. Yeah, that's going to be the Arlington one.
Oh
or no,
my
yeah,
God.
Dallas happens. I'm sorry.
Are you
No, that
geographically
would be a real
challenged?
cool round to go to. I went to the Cotton Bowl there, football stuff. And just that giant jumbo screen in the middle. I'm not a huge football fan, but being there in a football setting was like, oh my God, I wish there was a dirt bike track in the middle of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be really cool to see with, just that atmosphere, the way that building is, and being there. Be pretty rad to see the bikes in there. But yeah, I don't know if we'll swing that. If that's Moto Aftermath paying for my ticket.
No.
But yeah, other than that, I think it's gonna be really interesting with the East starting. It'll be interesting to see how the teams treat it. If they're still gonna do their bullshit where they announce it the day before, or whatever, however they do it, with a whole different format. I don't know if they'll have an idea a little earlier or not. So it all depends on those last 3 rounds that they didn't even announce. Where do you guys think those are going to be?
I personally think that with them going for 3 rounds in Arlington being west, I think that they'll go the next 2 after that. I still heard that Atlanta is a possibility, them going to Georgia, and then I think, because technically it's 4, because it's round 13, 14, 15, 16. So I think rounds 13 and 14 will be in Atlanta as an East. And then I think rounds 15 and 16, I still think we're going to St. Louis, man. And I think it'll be the West, and then obviously we round out in Salt Lake. So those are my guesses. I mean, I know that Mathis and JT, I don't know what we just think, what he said, but I think that Florida is still a possibility. Can we all agree though we're not going to California at all? Like that's just not happening.
No. They're hanging on for California. Like
yeah, I just don't see it though.
I mean I don't see it. I don't see it either. But legitimately, during the presser they did with the press, people were asking, and they basically said like we're hanging on for places like Vegas, California, etc. Now I have to agree with you. I think that St. Louis is more prevalent. Florida, I don't know. They didn't really talk about that at all. Atlanta was brought up just because everybody likes going there. But the problem with Atlanta is the stadium is so expensive that they're not really sure if they can do that. Now, they're also holding out for a Northeast stadium, too.
That'd be kind of sketchy, being that it's late in the year. I mean, I know that we've gone to Gillette Stadium and it hasn't snowed, but it's also been cold, so I know that always comes in their mind. But I know that Mathis is also still holding on to San Antonio as being a possibility. I don't know. As far as the schedule, I think it's cool. I am super pumped that we get a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, 3 different times in 2021. I don't know if you guys listened to the pod that Mathis and JT did right after the schedule came out, where they just kind of talked about it, but like they kind of went over more of the, I guess you could say, the economic side of it, like what they thought is like in these cities and stuff, and being in these cities, more of them on the East Coast, not much going on during the wintertime. And I think it's very interesting because Mathis brought up a good point. Like he seems to think that the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday races, there will be people that'll come in and do both the Saturday to Saturday, but he's convinced, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you guys listen to it, but this is my impression. He seems to think that the Tuesday rounds are going to be kind of, I guess you could say, on the lesser end of people being in the stadiums. And I think I would have to, what's that?
I agree with that.
Now, here's the question though. Do you think on Tuesday night in the middle of wintertime on NBC, nothing going on, do you think our ratings are going to be high for those? Because everybody said that for the Utah rounds, the Wednesday nights were shit.
I think it's, yeah, go ahead, Travis.
Well, where did you hear that the Wednesday night rounds were shit? Because I heard that the ratings were pretty good for the whole end of the season thing, man.
See, JT said the exact opposite. He said that it sounded like our ratings were crap for the Wednesday rounds.
Weird. I don't know. I thought you said the Saturdays. I thought you said the Wednesdays were good.
I don't know. Maybe it was just misinterpretation on my end and stuff. But either way,
because I listened to it also. Like I know what you're talking about. I listened to it also. Now, here's my thoughts as far as the Tuesday nighters go. I think you're going to be surprised at how many people actually show up. Because think about it, okay? They do every other sport during the week. So why can't we do this? And I mean, to the same effect that they're talking, like you're going to get a bunch of people from a bunch of different states coming out to do this. And no one's been able to really travel a whole lot. There hasn't really been a whole bunch of places to go. So you have this now. People are going to make a little week trip out of it, be in a different city, hang out, do some stuff, and go to all 3 races. I mean, I know my plans are Indy, I'll be there Friday through Tuesday and probably come home Wednesday morning or something. Other than that, I don't have anything set for sure. I'm kind of leaning towards going to Glendale because there's a dude that owns a powder coat shop down there that I want to go check out and kind of get mentored by him for a week. So I may go down there for all 3 of those and then work at his shop in between. And then, I've been contemplating like the Houston first 2, like Saturday to Tuesday. I don't really want to be in Houston for a whole week. I just don't know that there's that much there for me to do. I'm sure there's plenty to do, but I'm just saying like there isn't a whole bunch that jumps off the
You got to know the area.
Yeah, and then, but, dude, I've been thinking about Dallas, too, for the Saturday, Tuesday, to go down there and check some stuff out. So, I'm
willing to bet the Indy's sold out for both races.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Indy, I know it kind of contradicts what I just said, but I think the Indy round people will go for Saturday, Tuesday. I think both of those, I think they'll be at capacity for whatever the capacity is at these races come next year.
Yep, 100%.
But I think Indy, if we don't sell out at any of the rounds, Indy will be the one that it will for sure sell out at.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guarantee it.
Well, they said, I'm sure, well, actually, I don't know if you listened to the Weege one he did with the presser for the,
The Exhaust podcast?
Yeah, but Feld,
No.
They said so they did Monster Jam for the first time, and I don't know if they were Dallas, Houston, whatever. Anyway, wherever they were, they said the capacity they could have for the stadium they were in was 17,000, and they were 16-something on the Saturday, and then Tuesday they were 14-something, I want to say.
Okay.
So pretty good for 2 days within a few days there. Actually, I don't know if they did Saturday, Tuesday, whatever it was like 16 something and then 14 something for back-to-back days basically. So they did pretty good on that. And I agree with you though. I think Indy will definitely be sold out. Indy's usually sold out anyway during the winter, and now you add in the fact that we don't have a lot of other rounds in the area, so you're going to draw people from literally the entire Midwest there to come to Indy to do that. So
yeah, and as far as the racing aspect of it, I think it's going to be interesting. I think Cole brings up a good point. Like, I guess, do the teams still go through the same bullshit? Are we going to be waiting to the last second? And we shouldn't really think anything other, because they've done it for so many years. But it is going to be interesting, because if you think about a lot of the guys that are in the situation that are the favorites for the 250 titles, you got a lot of guys that are either, still coming off injuries, changing new bikes, and we'll get into that in a little bit, as who's on each team. But it's going to be interesting to see which guys try to pick which coast they go on, because, for instance, if you talk about J. Martin Craig on new bikes, how is the Honda situation, with is Hunter, are they going to put him up first in the East Coast? But then again, he's getting that shoulder fixed. So is Jet going to go first? What's the deal with Forkner? You talk about Hammaker for the new pro circuit. He's getting dialed in. Jarrett Fott. So it's going to be very interesting to see who goes with which coast, and if they lobby for different coasts. I believe that you'll see a lot of what we would call the title favorites, no matter what coast they go on. I think that a lot of those guys are going to opt to go for Glendale and be in the West. That's just my opinion. I don't really have any facts behind that. I just think that we're going to see the East Coast be a little bit, I don't want to say on the slower side, but just not as stacked, because a lot of guys are still figuring their shit out.
Yeah, I know one name we'll touch on later, Shimoda, wants to do nothing but West rounds, and he's in talks with the Phoenix team, and they're an East Coast-based team, so they're butting heads over that as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a big issue. So, I don't know. I think the racing, it's going to be very interesting on the 250. And as far as the 450s, you start thinking about some of these, what the soil is going to be like at a lot of these rounds and stuff. And other than Indy, you're looking at two Texas rounds where, I know in the past when we've gone to Houston, way back in the day, it was, it could be tacky and stuff. But, you're looking at a lot of these rounds, the dirt really doesn't favor any of these guys in the 450 class over another, as compared to when we go from the out, the open stadiums to back into East where it's tacky. Unless we go to Atlanta and St. Louis. But, like I said, you're looking at the Texas rounds where the dirt's going to be just hard. In Glendale, it's been up and down depending on the rain that they get out there. So, I think that with us not going to a lot of the normal places that we go to, it's going to be very interesting, because nobody's really going to have the momentum as far as like who likes the soil better. So I don't know. I think that, you normally don't think about that kind of stuff with Supercross, but I think this next season is going to be very interesting, and it's going to put a lot of level playing field. And once again, how are these guys going to go to? Now they know for sure we're doing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Is that going to benefit some guys? That don't like to travel as much. But what about if the guys get hurt at the first round or whatever? It's going to be a very interesting season, and I don't know. I hope it brings a lot of parity into it, because there's a lot of different storylines, especially with everybody switching teams. So I think it's going to be a very interesting year, even with us not knowing, 4 rounds. And do we have any idea, like, when we think Utah, like what the date for the final round is?
They have a hard stop. I don't remember. It's like the first or second weekend in May, but I can't remember what exactly it is. But they do have a hard stop for it. Prater said that on the podcast with Weege last week. They have a hard stop because motocross has a hard start, I think, at this point. I think.
Okay.
So they do have a hard stop because they are working with those guys too. Because they have to this year, because since they're not doing futures, they have to work with the motocross side so that these kids can get their pro points so that they can race supercross, because, you know, supercross and motocross are totally similar, so that's going to work well.
Or, you know, maybe we just go with, you know, what we kept talking about the whole entire outdoor season, and we just move the outdoor season back, you know, so then we won't have to worry about all this bullshit.
That would be
I'm down with that.
That would be fantastic.
I am, man. After seeing the way this year has gone, you know, and the way the season went outdoors, even though, you know, it kind of takes away from, you know, the guys that, you know, love to suffer. I'd love to see a late July start into early October every year. I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be
give these guys some time off. So, I don't know, but
no, I agree. I got one last thing to kind of wrap up the schedule stuff.
Sweet, go for it.
Do you think the mid race, so like Tuesday races and stuff like that, will bring in more of the casual fans? So you got the you know, like all the corporate workers and stuff that live downtown have nothing better to do on a Tuesday night. Do you think that you see Supercross and just go, oh, I'm going to check this out?
Like, is just a one person coming in, or like a person bringing their family in?
I don't know. Let's say you got post-grad life. You got a bunch of college graduates that just moved to town. They got jobs. Basically like the workaholics guys. You got 3 guys sitting in an office or something like that. They're boys still. You think they say, hey, fuck it, let's get drunk and go to a Supercross?
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, considering the only reason I say that is because if you look at a lot of the rounds that we're going to, the city life is pretty good, you know. So maybe, I mean, I could see it, you know, especially like I said with Indy, Houston being the same way. I don't really know what the nightlife is like in Glendale, but I could see it.
The nightlife in Glendale is pretty good, especially right there by where they're at. So. But
well, then, I mean,
I think a lot depends on what happens in the next few weeks here that is above our pay grade and stuff we're not really talking about. So,
yeah.
Depending how all that goes, could depend a lot on that happening. Because I'm not sure there's as many people working in the office setting downtown as what there was before. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's going to be an interesting year, though. It's going to be very interesting. And, hey, man, fucking 3 races in 1 week. That'll be, well, yeah, technically a week. So that's cool.
It's gonna be really weird having, like, those big breaks, though, like the 14-day and the 18-day break. That's going to be kind of weird, but, I mean, whatever.
I think it's going to benefit some guys, though. I think that Mathis and JT brought up a good point that, like, depending on how next year goes, since we're doing it for an entire season, if the numbers line up right, they get people in the stadiums, the viewership is up, the teams kind of like having the time off. It's going to be very interesting to see what Feld and the teams decide moving forward.
Yes. Well, it's definitely a forced learning experience is how I think Prater put it. And, yeah, it's we'll see how it goes as to whether it translates into stuff in the future. So let's move on, though, to talking some silly season, some team changes, some things like that. Cole, what's up first on our list here?
The first thing I know is you've gotten really quiet the last 5 minutes, so I don't know what you got going on.
Really? Huh, that's weird. I don't know. My levels show the same here, so I don't know. Stupid technology.
Fucking technology.
Yeah, well, whatever. Roll it.
The first thing, today being Monday, we all got our first glimpse of Bam Bam on the Red Gas.
Oh, yeah, with that cool baseball bat.
Yeah, the baseball bat's sick, isn't it?
You see him on the trials bike?
Yeah.
Sick, bro. Yeah, I posted it to the page.
Yeah, so sick. Anyway, first things first, I want one. That thing looks good.
A gas?
Yeah, but I've been thinking about getting one anyway.
Oh, you mean that red KTM?
Yeah, I don't care.
That was exactly where I was going with that.
Whatever. The bike looks pretty good.
It does. Especially with those black rims.
Yeah. We really didn't get to see a lot of Barcia riding that thing. Like raw clips. It was all kind of bullshit.
They got a video of Mosman, though, on motocross action.
How'd he look?
Well, he wasn't riding Supercross. He was just riding out of Glen Helen, and it looks like he was kind of just shaking the bike down. So,
Gotcha. Not really.
The bike looks good, though.
For Albert,
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, I'm just I'm just curious to see how Barsha's going to be on that thing. Hearing the rumblings around of him already taking a tranny out of it. And
Oh, I heard he blew up a motor. You heard the transmission? I already blew up a motor.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, it was
I
the
heard
tranny, but yeah, he blew it up the first day he rode it. Yep.
Which is really weird because, KTM's not really known for that.
Well, I think with him, though, has he ever had a hydraulic clutch?
No.
Yeah, so I think that probably would have something to do with it, just how hardy he probably is on the clutch, maybe. Or
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
that's it. It's
Could be.
interesting. I don't know.
Does any?
Well, hopefully they figured out, because I think, obviously we know Barsha can ride the soft stuff really good.
Yeah.
And we have seen him ride the hard stuff really good. I think back to his Honda days, the rookie year, maybe it was the rookie year. He came out in Glendale or Phoenix back then and put the whooping on those boys on the hard pack stuff. So
I think having that flex is going to help him.
And, yeah.
I think that bike's going to be good. I think having the flex of that chassis, we don't need to get into it because everybody talks about it, just the way Barsha rides the bike. I think coming off that Yamaha, it's obviously going to be it's going to be an adjustment, especially with the delivery of the power of the motor compared to where that fucking gas is going to rev to the moon, which is also going to help him too. But I keep going back to, I think that chassis is going to help him out a lot. And like you just said, we know he's really good on the soft stuff. He is good on the hard stuff, but he's struggled over the years. I just think that bike is going to help him out a lot. It's going to take away some of his flaws, not everything. Him still hitting over rev there's nothing going to ever change that. But if they get that bike dialed in, I expect big things out of him. I don't know how much better, like as far as at the end of the season in points he's going to be. But I think that he could be battling for more wins on that bike because it's definitely going to be better than the big piece of shit he just came off of.
And another thing too, Justin, more like the team atmosphere. So obviously he's been big dog before, like he is the man on the team.
Yeah.
But they're basically building this whole team around him. So I think that might be something that'll play in his favor. Like, hey, I have all this just because of me. Like, I'm going to go out and perform kind of thing.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Travis? You sound like you had a couple things to say.
I do. So does anyone think this is going to be like a big game changer for him, or is this just going to be normal? Barsha switches teams. Everyone gets all hyped up. He comes out. He wins the opening round because that's just what he does now, apparently. And then we go right back to where he's been, where like in 6 weeks, the bike sucks, the bike's garbage, or he hurts himself and then he's off and then he comes back and then the bike's garbage, or like, are we going to see the same, or do we really think this is going to be a game changer? Because in my opinion, I don't think this is going to be a game changer. I think we're going to see a lot of the same things we've seen. We've seen, like, just in the time I've been back in the sport here since whatever it was, I think 14 or whatever, because I think when I came back was like his last year on Honda.
When I came back, he says.
It was his last year on Honda. And so we went from Honda to JGR Yamaha, and it was so good, I love the bike, and whatever. He comes out and he does pretty decent, and then it kind of fades off, and then we're gonna get on Suzuki's, and man, this is so great, and we fade off, and then we get back on Yamaha, and this is so great, and then we just fade right off. And then we get into a contract year and we, come out with something to prove and we do something, and then as soon as we get a contract, we just fade off. And so, I don't know, man. I hope it gets
seeing
better.
how his career's ending soon.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Is I was having this conversation with Tom Cooper a little while ago. Is that I think he's too late in his career for a real game changer move. Like it would take a lot for him to really have a game changer, and I don't think changing brands is a game changer at this point.
All right, so he won one race this past year, right? In Supercross, it was just A1, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he was A1, and I think, even though Utah was a disaster for whatever reason, I don't know if he just wasn't putting in time during the break or whatever. We'll not get into that, but it was just a failure from where he was because even though mathematically he was in it, he wasn't really in it. But as far as the chase for the title, I think that because to touch on what Cole said about the team atmosphere, it's a lot different than Yamaha because even though we joke it is a KT, it's a brand new team. TLD, but it's a brand new, manufacturer as far as like who they're going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It's going to be different. TLD, other than when they had Townley and Mookie, they've never really had a guy of Barcia's status as far as a 450 guy. So I think that if he wins one this past year, I think that program and that bike jump it up to 2. Give him maybe a position better in the points. But as to your point, Travis, no. I don't think it's going to be a game changer. I just think, though, I keep going back to the bike. I think he's going to be fighting the bike a lot less, which maybe means you see Barcia a little bit more happier throughout the year. So maybe we don't hear as much as there's a lot of drama going on. So, no, if you want a hard answer, no. He's not going to win a championship. Is he going to be battling for more wins? Yeah, maybe. But I can't really see it being a lot different. I just don't think you're going to be seeing him as pissed off throughout the year, if that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Travis says, too, just because it's the revolving wheel of how Barcia's always been.
Yeah.
But, again, kind of branching off a little bit what you said, Justin, about being TLD, never having a guy of that stature.
Yep.
I got to feel like whatever he asks for, he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'm afraid of, and I just don't like this guy, and I even said it in the group text, is he going to butt heads with Tyler Queef? Is he going to butt heads with Keith? Is he going to butt heads with him? Because, I mean, you got 2 totally different personalities, and let's be honest, we all know Barcia really doesn't like to be told what to do. And Keith, he's kind of a no-nonsense guy, and he kind of has a stick up his ass all the time, so is that going to be an issue? I mean, that's the only thing that I could see where there's going to be drama throughout the year. But if they don't butt heads and they don't really talk to each other, which is fucking weird, team manager and rider not talking to each other, but if they don't get into it, then I just think that you won't hear as much of, oh, he hates the bike, Because, like I said, that bike I think is going to be a lot better than what he just came off of. But as far as, big changes, as far as results, not a lot. Just maybe one more win, which is good, I guess,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what he says on he's on Pulp Truck Night. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's on there tonight talking about it.
Yeah.
So
well, it'll be interesting to listen to that this week and kind of see what he has to say. But I mean, back to what Travis said again. He's always like, "Oh, bike's so sick," and then it slowly goes downhill. So.
You think after his contract's over with them, he's done?
Yeah.
He's got a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So he'll be 30, turning 31 then, if that's the case. Yeah, I think he probably only has 2 more years.
Yeah, possibly Europe. We thought maybe we'd see that, but
I'd like to see it. I think it'd be cool.
I mean, it would be cool to see, but I'm doubtful.
Me
People
too.
have asked, and he hasn't really said, "Yeah, that's what I'm going to do," type thing, or really wanting to do. So, yeah, I'm doubtful on that.
And at that age too, you're not going to go to Europe and have success in the first year.
No,
you'll be there 3-4 years. So.
Okay.
No, not at all.
So can we talk about their 250 guys a little bit too? So
sure.
How does Rockstar get rid of Mosman?
Well, Blair kind of
paid money.
Well, Blair kind of talked about this on his 250, I guess you could call it preview show.
Okay, I must have missed this part.
Or whatever. I don't know if it's a preview. So you listened to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, he made the comment, think about it, KTM, Husky, gas. It's basically just swapping one dude to another. But obviously Husky didn't get anything in return.
Sounds good.
So, I mean, let's be honest though. Like we keep talking about it, and it is a red KTM gas, whatever. But like that's really all I can think of, and that it is. It's just Husky taking one guy and moving him over to their redheaded stepchild brother. What I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I think of. It's the only thing that makes sense. But I don't know. I mean, is it going to be any less of is the bike going to be worse? No. So. I don't know. I think it's a bad move on Husky getting rid of him in that sense because I think they could have just given Jalek Swoll to them, but whatever.
Yeah, but I also think they're looking at they need a guy to represent that. Put Pierce down in the Brown and Jalik Brown Cole on the team.
Whoa! Jalik is Brown. Whoa!
That's my other thing is how do we land on Pierce Brown as our other guy? Like,
well, yeah, see, Mosman over there, they need a guy that's going to be toward the front on a gas.
And this is what I was
bullshit guys for a brand new brand.
Well, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the group text about guys not having rides. Like, are we seriously just going to overlook the fact that Hartrack doesn't have a ride right now? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I know that Brandon didn't. What's up?
This is something that what's his nuts Blair brought up too on his podcast. Is okay. So now you have this new team. They have a 250 and a 450 deal, but you only got one 250 rider. So you on each coast you've got one dude, and if he gets hurt, what you're bringing in somebody to substitute for him, or
what team is this?
Gas.
They got a big dog.
No.
No. Travis is saying one West Coast guy and one East Coast guy. So if one guy gets hurt, kind of the same thing that Honda's doing with Jet and Hunter.
Well, there's rumblings of a second guy next to Max Voland, and maybe they'll make a spot there for Hartrack.
I'll just say that if Brandon doesn't end up with a ride, that's some bullshit.
I mean, I will go on record as agreeing with Daniel Blair on this whole 250 thing with Husky and KTM and Gas of, okay, so you just took the team basically that you had and you just spread the shit out farther. Like, you added another team, but you didn't add any spots. I mean, there should be 2 more spots on Gas. Who does Husky have on their roster right now?
RJ, Robertson, and Swole.
So you got 3 there, so you're going to run 2 on one coast and 1 on the other?
Well, and that's another thing, too, is Husky has one championship contender in RJ and a rookie in Robertson and a guy in Swole who just fucking sucks.
Whoa, don't hold any punches back there. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm not going to.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to. This is Jordan Bailey all over again.
Yeah, so anyway, so this doesn't make any sense to me. Well, and then you go to KTM, and KTM's running
Max Boland.
one 250 guy who hasn't even ever rode a big bike and
never even raced an A race.
Yeah, never even raced an A race, and you're just going to throw him in there all by himself, with no other 250 help. And
I think they'll have somebody next to him.
Okay, but then again,
I think that
I mean, what are they expecting? Are we really just going to go team tactics from all 3 brands built together? Is that our plan here? Because I don't understand it. I don't understand Honda either with the keeping Hunter and Jet, and that's it. We're running 1 East, 1 West. What the hell? Or are you going to run both of them on the East? Or I'm sorry, both of them on the West, and then the East Coast is going to be these other Honda teams? What are you doing? I don't understand it.
Yeah, as far as this whole situation going on with KTM, Husky, and Gas, I am very surprised in the sense that because we all know this is actually coming up from the KTM brass bosses, it's a little weird because they don't normally run their program like this, and still, I think having Max Voland as your one guy, no matter what coast he rides, it's a terrible idea because you're basically throwing him into the lion's den, because if he goes out there and he gets hurt, it's going to let KTM look real stupid. Or if he goes out there and he doesn't get hurt, but he just gets his ass handed to him, you're stunting the kid's growth as a rider because he never raced an A race. He literally just came off
with them all over again.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think is going to happen to that kid's psyche if he goes out to whatever round he rides at and he goes out and he barely qualifies? And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if anybody thinks he's going to go out there and just start putting it to everybody, no matter what coast he's on, you're fooling yourself. Just because he fucking killed it in the schoolboy classes at Loretta's and he looked good for a few straight rhythm rounds, no. I don't understand what KTM and all these teams are thinking, but to your point, Travis, about way the riders, I think that even though it's all under KTM, I think that each guy on each team secretly is going to trying to prove a point. RJ is going to want to go out there, and if he's racing against Mosman and Max Voland or whoever, he's going to want to be the top dog, or vice versa. Bozeman's going to want to prove a point, depending on who he's racing against from Husky. So I don't know. I think it's a shit show, to be honest with you, though. When I completely agree with Daniel Blair, like, how do you have this many teams and you have that many low rider count?
I
Like, it makes
mean,
no sense.
I just did quick math in my head. They should have 7 more rides between those teams. 7.
Yeah, you should have at least 2 in each coast.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat.
Like there should be 7 rides there. There should be 2 more at Honda. So, I mean, you should have 9 rides total in the 250 class more, which if we added 9 more rides, I mean, all of a sudden, all these guys that are over here on the sidelines basically looking in that don't have a ride, I mean, all of a sudden we take care of them and some. I mean, okay, great. And that's not even, we haven't even gotten to like JGR and what the hell, no one knows what's going on there is happening. So, I mean, you're talking like all of a sudden we could solve some of the problems in the world here as far as the moto gods go of like dudes not having rides. But instead, we're fucking around with basically, what did we say we had? 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 rides between 3 fucking teams, which is unreal. Star's got 6 guys on one fucking coast.
Well, it looks like more of these manufacturers or more of these sponsors need to start getting in the cocaine business like Monster Energy because
God, Jesus. Here we go. Oh boy.
No. So that can lead us right into that situation. So
yeah,
like Mookie and that signing and stuff. So obviously there's a little more money to be thrown around with some of the teams. Or not the teams, but I guess brands, because they aren't throwing money at Geico Honda, and that money has to go somewhere.
Yeah. So how many semis do you think realistically here by the time we actually get to Houston for the first round? How many semis do you actually think Star's going to have in the pits? 6?
Well,
7?
we know it's going to be. We know it's for sure going to be 2.
There's no way they're fitting everyone they got in 2 semis. I mean,
Come Outdoors is going to be more interesting when these amateur kids like Romano and Kitchen and LeBlanc all decide to move up. That's,
bro.
And then you bring Thrasher back into it.
Outdoors, they're going to have 10 fucking semis at the races. Like, let's face it. There's going to be at least 10 semis at the races for Outdoors, and there's got to be 6 for for Supercross. Like, it's unreal.
So, did you guys see that video of Mookie? I think Swap posted it of him just doing testing at the State Fair MX.
I have not
riding outdoors.
The Mookie one, no. And I just saw the J-Mart one went up.
The J-Mart one?
Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
So the first thing I thought of, and I didn't really read the press release from, they talking about the signing with Mookie, but I started thinking about this, and it's obviously, we all know it's a Supercross only deal. But with the way that Star, whether it's Star, Yamaha, Monster, whoever, we think it's Monster Energy, and probably it's pretty sure it's Monster Energy throwing the money around. Do we think that this being a Supercross only deal, that it's not Mookie that went to them, that they went to Mookie, and that's why it's a Supercross only deal? Because I have a hard time believing that Star would pick up a guy, and especially in now that they're going with the factory effort, and offering somebody a Supercross only deal. So that makes me wonder if they went to him, and that's why it's Supercross only, because I can't see him going to them and then be like, oh yeah, we're just going to let you ride Supercross only.
Yeah, 100%.
So you agree? You think they went to him, not the other way around?
Yep. I think
they
who else was in talks? It was between him and who?
Well, I don't think it was anybody else, to be honest with you. I think they were always pretty much, McElrath, but that wasn't going to happen, so it's pretty much always him, him.
I would say on 450s, the only other one I heard outside of Dylan and Shane was rumbling for a little bit there was Mookie. And yeah, I think they literally did a name grab on him. They had some money open up because obviously Geico shut down, and like Cole, like you said, there's money from some of these other sponsors that all of a sudden can get thrown around at different people. And yeah, I think that's exactly what we had happen is they came into a little bit of extra money, and obviously I don't think Mookie is getting paid a whole hell of a lot to ride for him. And they were like, hey bro, you want to come ride this bike and we'll give you some money and you can keep your gear deal and it'll all be cool.
So that's very interesting if that is true, which I definitely think it is. But that's very interesting in itself, because if you really think about over the way deals have been negotiated and changed over the last, just say 10 years, and more guys getting more higher end, agents and going to these different, agencies and stuff, because now they're, These guys are getting more money, so on and so forth. You don't really ever see a team, especially a team like Star, go to a guy and say, hey, just come ride our bike. Just come ride our bike. We'll pay a little bit of money. You get to do whatever you want. Just come ride our bike. That doesn't normally happen. Like, I started thinking about it before we got on this phone call, and I tried to think of some names that might have happened, and I can't really think of anybody. Like, even in the early 2000s, like, that just didn't normally happen. They didn't really – top teams don't just go to guys. It's always the other way around. So if that's the case, that's very interesting in itself, and we're not going to get into economics and all that kind of bullshit with this, but it's very interesting in itself if that is the case that they went to him, not the other way around.
Okay, but let's look at this. Let's look at this at a different light, too. Who else do they have on 450s? Okay, they have Dylan, who is a rookie.
And Plessinger.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So they have Dylan, who's a rookie, who could do good, could wad himself in the first corner in the first practice in Houston. We're not 100% sure. We think he's going to do all right because he did good on the 250, but we don't really know, okay? We don't really know how he's going to really fit in. Again, we have ideas, but we're not sure. Then you have AP. Now, AP, we've seen can run inside the top 10, but unless they do something crazy with that bike, which could happen, again, could. I mean, he ran a lot of his 450 races up until he hurt himself. In the say 7 to 15 range, basically.
Well, 2 years ago, he was getting a little bit of momentum when he was getting it. He got 2 top 5s, and then obviously got hurt at Daytona. And then last year, he was just pretty much hurt up pretty much until he just stopped riding.
Yeah. I mean, he was, but again, we have another basically unknown. We don't know how it's going to go, but from what we've seen, it's not great, and they're basically locked in with him because he had a contract. So you want to take this?
He isn't getting paid either. I think he has to, in his contract, has to ride a certain amount of races before he can even get paid.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got the whole hill thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another.
So look
outlet at Yamaha has all this money. I mean, they saved money from not paying him for a year because he got hurt, and then they didn't take a couple of the engineers from the factory effort.
Yep.
Yeah, they got rid of some of the older guys.
Yep.
So I mean, there's $50,000-$60,000 salaries, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so look at your optics here. So now you bring in Mookie, who this year proved he could go 17 rounds, proved he could run, we'll say, 4 to 9th place most of the time. Okay.
Won a heat.
Yeah. Yeah, won a heat. I mean, so you want someone that in Supercross you can put some optics on in a good way, hopefully, for your brand new team here in the 450 class. I mean, when you start looking at it that way, it starts to make sense as to why they would go to him. I mean, like you said, it hasn't really happened a lot in the history of the sport, but you start looking at what you got going on, and boom, there it is. So
no, I think it'll be good for him. He's going into a season with a little bit of time to prep. It's the first time he's been on a full bore factory team. Supercross only is kind of something that he wants. I think it'll be a good situation for him.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he gels with that bike, because like I kept telling you guys, talking about with, the way I view Frenchie's season is if the Star engineers get that bike dialed in, because we know that bike is good because we've seen what Barsha can do, and then also, even though it's a different situation, we see how well it does in the GP. So as much as I'm not a Yamaha guy, that bike is good. It's better than people give it credit for. It's just Yamaha was stuck in the old way of thinking. So if they can get that bike dialed in, it's going to be very interesting to see how a guy like Mookie will be able to get that bike to do what he wants to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't love it. I love the signing. I think it's great. I think it's very interesting because you don't normally see a full factory 450 team, especially with the way they're running their program, doing something like that. So it's going to be very interesting. And I also do wonder that, because I'm pretty sure this is AP's last year of his deal, that if Mookie goes out and kills it, does he just get a contract, like extension? Like, does he just become the full-time second guy, and maybe they talk him into doing outdoors?
I think
I don't
that's
know.
a possibility, yeah.
So
I think it's a possibility.
He was pretty good outdoors.
No, I'm still to this day don't understand why. I know that he doesn't like to train as hard as some of the other guys, but I've always said I don't understand why he doesn't do outdoors, because even in the 250 days, it's not like he's done good. I've never understood it. So,
Bro, he brought outdoors. He keeps saying this. He doesn't, but he would. So,
dude, and I think I don't think he'd be a threat to, podium as far as points at the end of the year. But we know what Mookie can do with 1, 2, 3 lap heaters. So, he would be in there and mix it up for at least 10, 15 minutes.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay, you want to continue down the star rabbit hole a little bit here, because we also have a surprise signing that none of us really saw coming in Jeremy Martin going back there. And then, obviously Craig moved over, which that we all kind of knew before the end of the motocross season that he was going. Hell, I think we knew that in Supercross that he was going there. So that's not really a surprise. Now let's quickly touch on Craig, and then we'll move to J-Mart here, because we're going kind of long here. As far as the Craig thing goes, I don't think it's going to be a game changer for him. And I think he is going to take Mookie's bike when they go outdoors. I think he's going 450. I've heard rumblings. And,
I was just about to say the same thing.
And I think that's what he's going to do, but I don't really see it being a game changer as far as in Supercross. I just see it as a lateral move, I guess. I mean, any other thoughts on that other than that?
There are the rumors going around that Paige dad took her money out of the Geico team or whatever and took it over to that team. So if that is the case, it's still I don't need to perform to be here kind of deal. And I think a guy like Craig needs that I need to perform to stay kind of thing. So it'll be, that's kind of the way I look at it. If it's family involved, he's just, I'm going to put this phone on like he does every year. Like, I'm going to be a guy. I'm going to win races and then just shit the bed all year. And then
I'll say this. I think that if he is not on the same coast as Fortner or Jet, I think that, oh man, it's hard because you guys know I like Christian, but we do know how he is. We know where his head can be sometimes. I think if he's not on the same coast, what's up?
He hits the ground a lot. Let's face it. I mean, look at last year.
He does.
He was in position to do well in races, and he hit the ground a lot. Now, sometimes
but that bike is so fucking good, though. I
can't wait to see him go through the whoops on that thing.
I will say this. I think that if he's not on the same coast as Jet and Fortner, I think that he's going to be a title threat. I'm not saying he's going to win a title, but that bike is just good. It's just better than all the other 250s. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It doesn't matter. I know it's not as big of a deal in Supercross compared to outdoors with the horsepower, but that bike is just good. We know how smooth Christian is.
I guess.
And I do agree.
Don't we say this every year though with him of like title threat, and then it just never seems to materialize? Because I'll agree with what Cole said. If Paige's dad pulled his money from Geico and brought it over to Star, and that's why he's on Star, then it really, I think it's a wash again. I think it's like J-Mart too with it. I think as far as Supercross goes, okay, let's keep this statement correct here before you guys chew my ass off. I think in Supercross, I think it's just a lateral move for J-Mart. I don't foresee this being a game changer for him either.
I think once again, it just depends on who's on what coast. I really do. I think that if those guys are away from, Jet and Fortner, and Fortner and Jet are on the same coast as each other, and everybody else, like I said, you're looking at who are, and we're not going to go too deep into it, but it's Craig, it's J-Mart, it's RJ. Like, those are going to be the favorites, and we all know what they've done in Supercross. We know they're really fast. They could win races. J-Mart has obviously won races. Craig has won a race. RJ hasn't yet, but it's unproven guys. Like, we don't have a guy this year in the 250 class that has been able to prove that even being in the points, can be consistent. And that's the thing. Like, if they're away from Fortner and Jet, it's a toss-up on who's going to be the favorite. Because that's the thing is okay, just right now, just off the top of your head, say J-Mart, Fortner, or J-Mart, Christian, and RJ are the three favorites, and they're on the same coast. Who are you picking?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not arguing this point with you at all. But again, that's not a bike thing. That's just a circumstance thing as far as they're on a coast where there isn't a heavy hitter, we'll call it. And then they are the hitters on that coast. Yeah, I will totally agree with that. Now, as far as who I'm picking out of those three, man, I'm going with RJ, which is
Okay,
weird and hard to say, but I'm going with RJ because he's.
I guess my point is that bike. We know how good Christian is, what he can do with a lead. We've seen it a bunch of times in the heat races, and that's the difference with that bike compared to the Geico bike. Is that bike is going to get him starts, and if that's just it, where he just needs to get a start.
Yeah, but
like I said,
starts in Supercross are not as.
Well, my point is that all his races that he won were heat races because he got a start, is my point.
Yes.
And that's the thing is where I think that bike, I don't think it's going to be as big of a difference, but I think just to kind of all come back with what Cole was saying about with, Paige's dad, Jeff, putting money in, which, that is a thing. I mean, I was telling you about that, Travis. We were talking about that off camera a couple weeks ago. I think that this year is different in the sense because now that he proved that he did a whole season on a 450 outdoors and he proved his worth, whether you can talk about Coop and Kenny not being there and so on and so forth, he proved his worth. He proved that he can be a top 10 guy, run in the top 5, get on the box. I think that he knows that this is his last chance to prove to the teams because Christian's 28. He's going to be 29 next year. Like his career is not going to be too much longer. And if he wants to be on a 450 the last couple of years of his career, he's got to do something this year. And I think for the first time, he's realizing that if he doesn't get it done this year, whether that means winning a title or not, his chances of doing anything, they're over with. Like, he's not going to get that 450 ride. So that's the only reason why I think this year might be different.
Okay. All right. Now, as far as J-Mart goes, again, another guy that I don't think the bike's game-changing for him in Supercross. Outdoors, completely different story.
I think they're fucked outdoors. But
everyone is fucked 8 ways to never outdoors against, unless for some reason the actual Honda R&D team completely figures something out with that bike where it can stay with the Star Yamahas, which I think is next to impossible.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Where Jet could do that. Outside of that, nope. I don't normally do this, but we could just hand the trophy out before the season starts, and then just
we might as well
see what happens because those boys are all screwed. So
yep.
Did anybody else's jaw fall on the floor though when we heard that J-Mart signed with Star? Because mine did. I had to pick it back up.
After some of the stuff we know about other riders banging his fiance. And stuff like that,
Jesus Christ.
I didn't think he'd be back.
I woke up, I saw that, and I was like, you've got to be shitting me.
Was Seth Burke involved in all that, too?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would have to think so, man. I would have to think there was a lot going on behind the scenes that nobody knew about because I don't see J-Mart just going, we can work this out. I don't see it. I do not see that happening. There had to have been a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Don't you have somebody you could call and ask about that, Justin?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Why don't you get some fucking info then?
You know what, man? Why don't you just back off?
I mean, dude, I'm over here working like a fucking dog trying to get fucking info for shit, and you just got to make a phone call.
Anyways, as far as the Supercross thing, like I said, I think it just all depends on if those guys aren't on the same coast as Jet or Fortner. Because, like I said, the same thing with Craig. If he's not on the same coast as Fortner and Jet, he's going to be a title threat. But if he's on the same coast as them, then he's just going to, maybe get a win, and then he's just going to be a top 3 guy. Because I just think for the first time in a long time that even though, the way 2020 ended with Frenchie and Sexton winning their titles, this is the first time I can say in a long time that there's 2 guys that are just clearly better than everybody else. Like, it'll be the same thing in 2019 if Fortner ends up on a coast that Jet's not there. He could just win out. And the same thing with Jet. He could just win out. So
I have a question for you guys. What is the percentage pie that they don't end up on the same coast?
I would like to see them on the same coast.
I'm about.
I think they're going to be on the same coast.
I'm about 90.
I think it'll be west.
I'm about 95% in. They're going to be on the same coast, and I will tell you my reasoning why. And I have no information on this. I believe that Jet is going to do everything in his power to make sure he's on the same coast as Fortner because I think.
What do you think? It's west or east?
Oh shit! That I don't know.
I think it's west because I think Fortner's still dealing with his internal injuries from Utah. Yeah. And I know that he's been back on the bike, but then he just recently had to have another surgery like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, he may not even be back on a bike until late November. So, I think that it'll be on the same coast. And yeah, I think it'll be Glendale will be the first time we'll see those two together.
Yeah, I just think Jet is not scared, and I think Jet's got that, we'll call it bravado, where he wants to go out and prove he's the best, and he's not stupid. He knows that Faulkner is the best 250 rider as far as Supercross goes right now. So I think he will do everything in his power.
I think he knows how to get in Faulkner's head too.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. I completely agree with that, but I think we also saw in Utah, though, that Faulkner can play the same game. Now, it's not going to end well for either one of them because with Jet being younger and Faulkner just being a dipshit, but I just hope that they realize that if they're going to already come in playing that game, they're going to both throw their title chances away trying to fuck with each other the whole entire season.
How many rounds does it go before Jet calls Faulkner Forky on the podium?
It depends on if he can beat him straight up. If he beats him, I know you were joking around, but like I think it depends on if he beats him straight up. If he can beat him, I think he's just going to keep talking shit. He'll throw little jabs in there. But I think that if they go out in Glendale, if that's the first time they race against each other, and Faulkner just straight up spanks him, kind of like he did in Utah, then I don't think you'll see the same thing. But I think that if Jet at any point beats him, I think Jet's going to throw little jabs here and there, whether it's on the podium or it's on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But I think it's a legit beef. I think that the whole him and Cooper thing was kind of like a one-time thing. I just think him and Faulkner don't like each other at all, and I think it's going to make it great for us because I think they're going to get into it the whole entire season.
Now, do you think that because
forever
we know Faulkner's a head case now, we know Jet will talk shit, so Jet can get into his head. Do you think that Faulkner can get into Jet's head at all? Like, let's say Faulkner's beating him, and Jet can't seem to get it together to beat him. Do you think that gets to Jet, or Jet just keeps head down, talking shit, and going at it?
I think it fuels Jet. Just look at outdoors.
The
whole Cooper thing. And then he comes out at Pala. Cooper's in front of him, catches him, passes him, pulls away.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I'll just say I think you're both right. I think that Jet will just put his head down. I think it'll just get to the point that Jet he doesn't really talk then for a while. He just kind of just tries to do whatever he can, whether it's working with getting the bike dialed in or just working on his technique, and he just beats him. Like he doesn't have to just beat him. I don't think that he's gonna it's gonna get into his head. It's gonna fluster him. I just think that you won't hear anything out of Jet for a while because that's the thing. I like Jet, and I think that he is the future, and I think that as far as 2022 is concerned, I think he's going to be the title favorite indoors and out, but he's not faster than Faulkner. Now, maybe he'll beat him, but there's not going to be too many times, in my opinion, that I think he's just going to go out there and he's going to yard Faulkner. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a game of wits. Who's not going to crack? And I don't know. It's going to make it great for us, though, because, like I said, I think that those two will get into it the whole entire season.
Exactly.
Yeah, he didn't take no shit in Utah either when Faulkner tried messing with him.
No, not at all.
Yeah, he put his head down, caught him in the gate, and passed him.
Well, and then that's also going to be interesting, too, with Mosman if he's on the same coast as Faulkner, because those two got to do it enough times last year or this year. So Faulkner's just got everybody gunning for him.
Yeah,
Hunter ain't fucking with him either.
Well, maybe Faulkner getting fucking dumped or whatever you want to call it by his chick, and Blair had a little bit of insight on, or he had something to say about this. Maybe Faulkner's just not the same dude this year. I don't know. We'll get into that when we talk about, a 250 preview, but it's going to be very interesting on all ends from a lot of these 250 guys.
Well, Blair talked about the chick.
Oh, yeah. He brought it up.
Oh, yeah. They kind of, whoever the co-host, they kind of have theories that maybe this is going to be good for him because he's always used to being, whatever. We'll not just, you'll have to go listen to it because they kind of talked about it for like 10, 15 minutes.
So Blair,
what's up?
Nothing.
All right, Cole, what else we got on the list here? We've been at this for a little over an hour, so let's make the rest of this kind of quickish.
I had a couple more things. I had MCR Honda, Savachi, and Tickle.
Let's talk about MCR for a second. You guys see that Bloss, McElrath, and Hill are riding the 2020s and Freeze is riding the 2021?
That's interesting.
Yeah, Freeze is going to be the test guy.
That's super interesting that they have one dude on the new bike.
Well, also, you want to know what's interesting is they keep saying that Hill's signed, and I guess Josh got on Instagram and said Hill's not signed. That he bought 2 bikes to practice on, but there's been no deal, no ink to paper.
No, yeah, I see that too because he's been rocking O'Neill gear, helmet, boots, and everything.
Yeah.
There, Leah team.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's what I said.
So you think that's a Hill deal, or is that a MCR deal?
I think
As far as the gear?
No. I mean, as far as like why there's no deal inked yet.
Oh, ooh, I think that's, well, I don't know.
That's a Hill thing, dude.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, I don't know. I do find it interesting though that they would make the press release that he's on the team, and then Josh comes out and says, "Yeah, no, there's been nothing signed yet." So that's, I don't know.
Typical Hill family. Shit's all fucked up, and no one knows why.
Oh, he's going to come out. We'll see an interview in just, in like second week of December. Oh, dude, it's a new year. I'm motivated. I'm going to come out and I'm going to show him what's up. I'm going to get some wins.
Maybe he should just take a couple years off and be like his brother and go back to the 250 class, and maybe he'll win another regional title.
Maybe he'll just go start hanging out at Monster Energy parties and snorting cocaine too.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, maybe he'll be winning real moto medals.
Whatever, dude.
Anyway, what else we got?
Whatever. They're talented on bikes, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Not arguing that.
Right at their house and some of the shit they're doing.
I think Justin Hill is one of the most talented dudes to ever throw a leg over a dirt bike, and I don't think people talk about it enough. And I know that because all he's ever won is the 1-250 title. But if you watch the shit that dude does, I love watching and Josh. I love watching both of them ride. But and Travis knows this. I was a huge Justin Hill supporter, still kind of am. I'm just kind of sick of his shit. Like he says the same thing every year. I know a lot of these guys do, but it's like, bro, like you're expected to do something, and what he had 2 good races this past year? Like, that was it, right? 2 maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, the one where he looked like he was going to show up at, and he was running really good. He just got taken out and had bad luck.
I mean, he punched the barrier behind the thing a lot. I know that.
I wish
I guess we got, we have Savachi and Tickle, and then you wanted to talk about the Phoenix thing. So, Tickle,
I got quite a
Rocky
bit.
Mountain.
What's up?
I heard Tickle for Rocky Mountain.
I think they're taking Bogle.
No. I heard Tickle, Rocky Mountain, and Bogle.
Oh, that'd be sick. I think that would be cool.
So that's
another shot at that KTM. Savachi, I think I could see Tickle going back to JGR and Savachi getting that KTM spot just because.
Well,
Joey ain't going back to JGR because he's
no. Well, what's going on with JGR though? Because we haven't heard nothing.
Well,
what's Mitchell know? I thought he was about to put his pen to paper.
Man, I haven't talked to him. Stop.
I heard Suzuki is kind of being a pain in the ass, is what I keep hearing.
Again? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because here's what I heard, and I don't remember if it's pulp or where it was, but what I heard is that the deal was if you saw Teasdale riding the last few rounds for JGR, that means that the casino deal was inked. So Teasdale was there on a JGR. So supposedly the casino deal is inked. Now, where they're struggling, like I said, is supposedly Suzuki and them are going back and forth. Now, is that a JGR thing or is that a Suzuki thing? Because
Suzuki versus the casino.
Suzuki.
Well, here's the thing. What my thought in all this is HEP. Because HEP is growing. I mean, dude, let's face it. Shane was on HEP's radar, which the Shane to MCR thing's kind of interesting. So Shane's not going to ride outdoors, like.
Yeah, that's another thing too. And is Bloss not going to ride outdoors?
And Bloss too. I mean, like, where are those guys going to go for outdoors?
Oh no! Wait a minute. I'm sorry. MCR did announce that they're going outdoors.
What?
Yeah, they're going outdoors.
Tony Alessi back at the Outdoor
Now,
Nationals?
I don't know if that means Hill's going outdoors, but yeah, they announced they're going outdoors.
Oh boy, that's why Hill hasn't signed.
What'd you say, Cole?
That's probably what the holdup is on Hill.
Yeah, because anyways,
Yep, he either doesn't want to go outdoors or they're not paying him enough money, and so he's trying to be like, well, I want more money, and they're like, well, you're not worth more money because let's face it, you haven't fucking done anything in the last year. Anyway, yeah.
So the Savachi thing, though, I have three teams, and I'll just put them out there, and I've only heard of one.
Okay.
And it's kind of what you just said with HEP. But the three teams, and I want your guys' honest opinion, which one do you think is more likely? HEP, because they have Max and they have Entic, we knew that. So HEP, Bar X Suzuki, Penrite Honda.
I'm going with Penrite.
Because they got Brayton, and they're looking for another 450 guy.
I'm going to go with Penrite.
They got
Cole?
Clout, though.
Yeah, but I think that right now that team is looking to put a lot of guys on the track with those graphics. And the last thing I heard,
my understanding is that team's got big money.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So they could be looking at like 450 dudes, a 250 guy. So yeah.
Because isn't Penrite like a food thing?
I thought it was oil.
Oh,
It's oil.
Oh, it's oil?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, those are my three thoughts. And I had heard a while back that Savachi was already talking to Penrite and HEP. Now, the Bar X Suzuki thing, I'm just kind of pulling out there because everybody keeps saying that they're going to get a little bit more Suzuki effort or Suzuki money. You know, we know that Larry Brooks runs that team. They're going racing with Dylan Schwartz, and they're looking for other guys. So that was just kind of like just kind of a shot in the dark on that one. But it will not surprise me if Savachi, you either see him back on yellow in 2021 or if he's on a Honda.
I don't think you see him on yellow. I bet he's going to Penrite if he's going if he's going anywhere. I think it's Penrite. But then again, is Penrite going outdoors? Like, is he another guy?
Well,
what the fuck is he doing outdoors?
And that's the thing. I think that right now, Joey, it will not shock me if he just goes Supercross only.
He's gonna.
I think we've seen what he did. The year that he rode for Monster County in Supercross, he was a top 5 threat. He got, he was leading races. He was fast qualifier. I think it's safe to say that he's better in Supercross than he is outdoors. And it just won't shock me that if he, especially with all the shit that he's gone through in the last year and a half trying to find rides, if he just say, hey, Supercross only, I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
What's he going to do? You think he's going to do like a Brayton deal? Is he going to go race in Australia then in the off season, or what's he going to do? Because
I think so. I mean, why not? He's been doing a lot of shit, man.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I guess that's the only way I could see him being able to do it. Because otherwise, like, I don't think he's got the personality to be able to go do these other off-season races and like pull the big bucks in. Like, he's not gonna pull Malcolm Stewart type money,
No.
Because he, like, I mean, for you guys know how I feel. He has no fucking personality to deal with fans. Period.
I think just the thing is because I think that even though it was 1 year, it was a damn good year. He proved how good he is in Supercross on that 450. And I think if you're looking at a lot of these other guys that want to go just Supercross only or looking for deals, like I said, and I know that we can go back and forth on this, but like I think it's absolute crap that they pick Bloss or Freeze or Hill or whoever, even McElrath over him if they're looking at doing just Supercross and whatever. But yeah, I mean, it will not shock me that if he ends up going to Penrite and just rides Supercross. Because like I said, I think that he's just that much better in Supercross than he is outdoors on that 450. So.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, but he is damn good outdoors.
What's up?
He's damn good outdoors.
No, he is. He definitely is. But I just think that his results have been so much better 1 year in Supercross compared to what he's done. And I know this year he was hurt, so I'll just say that the Monster Energy year, and even though that year was shit, I think that him going Supercross only won't be the craziest thing that has happened. But yeah, it will not shock me if he ends up on a Penrite Honda come Houston. So,
no, I think that'd be cool for him.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of options here. Like I said, we don't really know what Hep's
and it's a good bike.
And
it's a good bike.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Because Honda's taking care of that team with Brayton on it. So.
Oh yeah. And I guess that just leads into Cole. What you got about Phoenix Honda?
Yeah, let's hear this.
So I was chatting with some certain people on an Xbox.
Oh God.
But not the person you would think that I got this information from.
Okay. No 841.
But anyway, Honda is giving Phoenix, I think it was like $300,000 or something.
Good
Get
job,
a rider. They're splitting all the parts amongst Phoenix and the Lawrence brothers Team Lawrence. But they're going after Shimoda.
Yep.
And Shimoda doesn't want to wear boost gear, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, right.
And they're based out of North Carolina, I believe. So they're going to have Osby, Kyle Peters, and possibly Shimoda. But Shimoda's being difficult because he wants to be West Coast only, wants to wear his own gear, all this stuff. So that's what they got going on there. And then also that Michael Lindsay has been linked to some additional support from Honda, but I guess Michael Lindsay is like the leech of the pits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so when there were certain people having conversations and Michael Lindsay came walking up and then they just completely changed the subject. So yeah, Michael Lindsay I think's in deep shit, over like $100,000 in debt from what I've heard.
Oh, it was a dumb idea doing what he did.
Yeah, and now he's just trying to leech on to anybody and everybody he can to try and get something from them.
Yep.
So, yeah, Michael Lindsay's kind of a dirt ass.
I don't think if he ends up having another team, unless it's Cody Schock, I don't see anybody wanting to go over there.
No. Who did they say? Maybe Mumford, but he'd probably be on a pro circuit Kawasaki, I think.
Well, I was about to say that same thing. Mumford apparently was testing a PC Cowie, which kind of with the whole possibly them having a fifth guy and just Supercross, he might be the guy, which I still think is weird considering why would Pro Circuit go out of their way to have a Supercross only guy with a guy that's never raced Supercross?
Yeah, but I think Mumford, I don't know. It's like his family's got money or something with that.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so I think he's kind of paying for his own ride kind of thing.
Yep.
Try and get a shot. But yeah, Phoenix, I think Phoenix Honda will be really good with Kyle Peters and Osby and stuff. That's a pretty solid lineup for what they are.
Which I think is funny about that because basically them and Club kind of did a switch with Osby and Owen.
Right. Osby, Owen, they did like a trade there.
Well,
and then I saw something interesting. The Club team has a Dominique Theory or something. He's a European kid. You know much about him?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know much about him. I've heard of him. He's done like the British series or Supercross series or whatever, and then the German series. I think he just went over there last year, started riding, and just got really good friends with Brandon Haas and I forgot the other dude's name. But as far as results, yeah, I don't think you're going to see much out of him. I think that's one of, oh, hey, we feel bad for you. You know, you're a good kid, so you just whatever.
Yeah. And then I guess like the motors and so going back to Phoenix Honda, they were only getting like 44 horse or something out of those bikes.
That's impressive that Peters did that well then.
No, in fact, all of them. Geico, Honda, everything.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, no, that is terrible.
Considering Star's putting out like 55.
Right. No, come on, they got to be doing like 50.
What, Star, dude? I guarantee you they're doing over 50. What? Yeah, no, definitely more than that.
Yeah, they're probably like 44 might be exaggerating, but Honda, they're at 46, 47, like, still.
What?
Why don't you go find out what that PC bike's doing, and then we can just figure Star's doing at least 5 horse more than the PC bike, and then we'll kind of know, you know?
Well, see, here's the thing. I can just tell you right now for our own, TLR sponsored rider, Kevin Moran's was getting 50 out of his, and that's a KTM.
Well, that's probably a big bore too, but
Built
that's
by
neither here nor there.
Yeah, but still though, man. No. That's a big bore. Come on, dude. Don't be letting the 300 kid out of the package. Come on, bro. That's not cool.
I mean, Geico might have been running a big bore the last half of the season.
Look, pretty much everybody on this phone call, well, I don't know about you, Cole, anymore. I mean, I know you still have a Honda, but like we all like Hondas, but let's be real. That 250F, it's a turd.
I'm gonna be real honest. I got a call the other day that they had Honda 250Fs in, and I told them I didn't want it.
Oh, you going to the Yamaha?
Oh yeah, pretty much.
The Yamaha?
Pretty much,
okay.
Unless I get desperate and we get like into the spring and I still don't have anything, and then they're like, "Oh, the Hondas are here," and I'll be like, "Fine, fuck it, whatever, give it to me." But yeah, other than that, I am all on the blue crew here for the 250F. So.
Oh, here's a good one.
Oh boy.
Mike Grondel is trying to file a lawsuit over the Geico semi.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good God. The plot thickens.
Whatever.
All right.
That dude wipes his ass with $100 bills every morning, and he's pissed about a semi.
About
Wish I
$100,000
could.
semi. Yeah. Smooth. All right. We got anything else major we need to cover right now? I mean, we're not going to do this every week. We'll probably reconvene in a couple of weeks here, maybe a few weeks, and talk some more once we get some more news in. But anything else major, because we've been going for a while, and let's face it, I'm hungry and I need to go to bed.
No, I'm good.
I'm trying to rip some motos.
Oh,
All right.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings. Oh, by the way, boys, I got us another sponsor for this coming season. So,
Cool.
it's pretty official. I have a confirmation text message. It's not really going to benefit anyone but me, but it's cool. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. So
What's it involved? Give me a hint.
what? Rusty nuts.
Oh, all right.
So anyway, so thanks for tuning in. Make sure to check out our sponsors if you need some powder coating. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel. Go like, subscribe, and comment. I got a lot of content still coming down there. I've got a lot of moto stuff I filmed. Cole, one more thing. Did you see Needham's having a pit bike race this weekend at his track?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday yet. I'll let you know. But yeah, he's doing some sort of like little pit bike race thing, I guess. So.
I would hate to go there and win.
So you got anything going this weekend, or are you coming to go to that pit bike race, bro?
I don't know. I might ride big bikes at maybe Redbud.
Oh, are they having a practice or is it a race?
Practice.
Fuck, I hope my bike comes in this
Bro,
week.
you know I don't race.
Bro, you raced at Redbud?
I rode around.
I thought
yeah.
maybe you were getting in some practice motos before we start training to go after that pro card this year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You better start raising some money.
Bro, we can find the money. That's okay. We'll make that happen. All right.
You better start sending the kid over there around with the candy bar thing.
All right. Well, I'll let you know about the pit bikes. Fuck. I didn't know they were doing Redbud this weekend for practice. I mean, God, I hope my Yamaha comes in this week.
Either there, Martin, or I don't know, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees. Maybe
I know.
Maybe the new show sponsors private track.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, I got to get a bike in. I don't have anything to ride right now, so. But anyway, all right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Really appreciate it. We'll be back, like I said, in the next 2-3 weeks with another show, and we will see everybody soon. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Whoops. Shit.